Okay guys, at this point you should have your restoration layer and you should have your background layer. Everything should be fixed. You should have all the spots out of the back, no cracks on the face. What we're going to do is go ahead and apply a filter to this to get rid of dust and scratches. So we're going to right click on the restoration layer and we're going to choose Convert to Smart Object. Wait for it. It's a little slow. Once that takes place, we're going to go up to Filter, and we're going to do, where is it, Noise, and we're going to choose Dust and Scratches. And what happens, let me show you, I'm going to change this to 10 just so you can see this is a preview. That makes it really, really blurred, and that's what happens when you do this. It just takes the edge and it goes and smooths it out a little bit. So keep your radius around 2, click OK, and that will just smooth out our photo a little bit. Now what we want to do is to turn this into a black and white photo. So we can go down here to Adjustment Layer and we're going to choose Black and White, and it automatically turns it to grayscale, but if you go here you can choose some of these options. I really like, because I've already played with this, you can see when you click them what it looks like. My favorite for this photo is the green filter. I think it lifts where it needs to lift, it smooths out, it looks pretty good. So go ahead and choose the green filter. Close the X to close out, and then I want to do a layer for curves as well. So go right here and select curves. So now that we have curves, I like to choose the black point. So you just select this black one and go right here. This to me I think is the darkest shadow in this photo. So if you click right here, it will adjust your contrast. Now this is a bit too much for me, so I would go up to opacity and change the opacity down to about 43, 37, somewhere in that range. You can see the before and after. If I click off curves, that's what it looked like before. It almost looks like it has like a haze over top of it. If I click it back on, it's nice and sharp. The contrast looks good. All right, now that we're done, let's go ahead and click up here. We're going to choose Flatten Image. Okay. Once our image is flattened, we want to save this as black and white. So we're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to change the name of this to, I think it's your guy says Practice, and then change it to say black and white. And again, you want to save it in the V drive, ME2, Principles of Art, Media and Communication, find your class, student folders, find your name, and save it there. Okay. Now that we have this saved and we have it in black and white, we're going to turn around and add color to it. So to add color, the first thing we want to do is to change our image mode. We're going to go to Image Mode, and we want to make sure that it's CMYK. And it's going to give you this notice. Go ahead and click OK. And next thing we're going to do is start adding adjustment layers. So if we click right here to an adjustment layer, I can do adjustment layer, solid color. Now let's do a color for the skin tone. You're going to want a little bit darker than what it would normally be, just because we're going to choose the blending mode to soft. So I click OK here. And under the blending mode, I'm going to change it from normal to say soft light. Now it applies it to the whole thing, which we don't want. This is your color on this side. This side is what's called your mask, which is what you're going to see through. So if we click right here, we're going to hold down Control and the I key for invert, and it changes it to black and white. Now, once we have this, as long as over here is on white, which it is, it'll allow us to start painting. So you can choose B for brush, or you can just click on the brush. Zoom in so you get to the face. If you right click, you can change your brush size. So I went ahead and changed my brush size, and it'll allow you to start painting it. Now I'm going to do something on purpose. Okay. Let's say that I did this and I'm thinking, I don't really like this color. No problem. Go over here, double click that. You can shift this out of the way, and you can go ahead and arrange this till you get to a color that you think looks closer to a good skin tone. Maybe right there. Click OK. And also, I made a mistake right there and I'm on the hat and I don't want the hat to look like that. No problem. I can't do anything. See that symbol? That's because I'm on the color part. If I click over here on the mask, now I can choose any of the tools and work with here. So I'm going to choose the eraser tool and I'm going to right click to do a bigger size. Go ahead and I can erase away this. So no worries, if you get another area, you can go back and clean it up and you can erase it and get it where you need it to be. Okay, so go, also I want to show you one more thing before I forget. You can always change the opacity of a layer. So if I change the opacity of this, I could bring it down to a softer instead of the full color. This comes in handy with the lips. The lips is a tough one because it almost makes it look like he's wearing lipstick and you want like a really soft look. So when you do the lips, you'll have to adjust your opacity down. What I want you guys to do is go ahead and pause this until you do the skin, but do not do the eyes or the lips. You're just doing the face. You could use brown on the hair if you wanted to, or you could go black. I chose to do mine with all the hair and the eyebrows with brown as well, because I thought it turned out nice. But don't do the eyes, don't do the teeth or the lips, because those will be different colors, and don't do the uniform. So pause me, come on back when you're done. Okay guys, at this point, you should have gotten the skin color toned done. I'm going to zoom in, but you probably do not have the hat or the uniform or the mouth or anything like that, and that's great. This is my finished one. I've clicked off the visibility so you can't see it. I'm going to go back to the one I was just working on, and I'm going to show you how to do the next layer. Now, pretend like this was finished. And what we're going to do is go ahead and choose another layer for a different part. Let's do the uniform next. So if you click adjustment layer here, and let's do solid color again, we're going to pick a color that we think would look good for the uniform. How about we choose maybe a color like that. Click OK. Again, same thing. We need to click over on the mask area, Control and I to invert it to black. Then we need to go over to the brush and we're ready to start painting. Change your mode to soft light. There we go. And you're ready to start painting. If you decide that this is not a good color and you don't want to use this color, then remember you can double click here, shift over, and adjust your uniform color till you get it to a color that you think is probably more appropriate. Then click OK. I do want to show you that, and like right now I get this symbol, but that's because I'm on the color. I have to click back on the mask to be able to continue painting. What happens if you choose this color and you go over top of previous color? Well, you'll see that it actually layers the two colors on top of each other. If I wanted to erase it, I could go in and erase this, but notice that it does not erase the underneath one because that's on a separate layer. So it's kind of nice. It allows you to be a little sloppier with your painting and then come on in with your eraser tool and clean it up. So go ahead and pause me and make sure that you get the uniform done. You want the hat to match the uniform, but you do not want to do the buttons or the tie. In the ME2 folder, I have put a reference photo for you. I checked with the person who sent me this photo, and this is from 1950s. It's an army photograph. So if you go into materials for class and you go to photo restoration, I've added this 1950 reference photo, and this is what it looks like. So we can see that the top of the hat should have like this maroon kind of edge. The buttons are gold, the tie is brown, and this is the color, this khaki color is the color for the uniform. So that's the colors that we're going to pull up. So make sure you keep this photo up so you can reference it as you're painting. Go ahead and pause me and then come on back when you're done with this. Okay guys, at this point you should go ahead and have the uniform done. Remember, we're leaving this edge because we're going to paint that the maroon color, and we haven't done the tie yet, we haven't done the buttons. I accidentally colored over this button. I'm looking at that now. So if I click on my uniform layer, I can take the eraser tool and make sure that I'm on the mask section, and I can erase away. I should zoom in for this, but I didn't. I can clean that up later. I can erase away. So we want to do the tie brown, and we want to do the buttons gold, and the lips we want to do pink, and then we want to add this trim, and we also want to do the background. So it's the same process as before. You're going to, anytime you want to do a new layer, you're going to do new adjustment layer right down here, solid color. Make sure you change it to soft light, and you pick the color that you want. This is what I've done. This is my lips. Here's my tie. And I did the background like a bluish gray. The only thing that I have left to do is to trim on the hat, and I want to do his eyes like a darker color. And then I might do the eye whites with just pure white to get in there and really change the opacity down on that, but just so it doesn't look like a grayscale like black and white, but it looks like a true white. And then I want to do gold for the buttons. So all in all, looks pretty good. Let me know what questions you guys have.